taken a back seat to internal Iraqi security. And now we'd like the Iraqi army to take a back seat to the Iraqi provincial police, the national police, federal police. Is that, and that's a U.S. goal as well as the Iraqi goal, is that a realistic goal for the army to be, because is there a historic precedent in Iraq or its neighbors for the army to take a back seat to internal security? Do you think it's a realistic goal for the U.S.?
Well, you know, it's funny you asked that question because 10 days after Barack Obama announced the withdrawal of troops, we're going to lower it to 50,000 and then pull them all out at the end of 2011. 10 days later, the chief of the Iraqi General Staff, General Babakar, said, if they had asked me, I would have said we're not ready for the Americans to pull out until 2020. The chief of staff of the Iraqi military is saying he needs 10 more years. Did anybody ask him? Like General Shinseki, our chief of staff of the U.S. Army, who said, yeah, if you invade Iraq, this is in 02-03, if you invade Iraq, it'll take, 400,000 troops. Donald Rumsfeld fired him. So, I mean, how do you do that? How do you pull out all of our forces when their chief of staff is saying, don't go? And I will plug my website. I've got a website, americasfailurein-iraq.com, and I write posts about these things. And I wrote a post about this very issue, about the troop withdrawal announcement, and then General Babakar, and Operation New Dawn, and these advise and assist brigades. Soldier's a soldier.
I think in terms of precedent for the army taking the back seat for internal security, I think that's the case in most Middle Eastern countries. You only have the police, and then you have, what comes with the police: internal security, secret police, general security. So Iraq was that way before 2003. The police and other security apparatus were providing security, at least for the regime and for the people, as a second goal. But for the current situation, the Iraqi constitution does dictate that the mission of the army, the Iraqi army, not the whole Iraqi security forces, the mission of the Iraqi army is to protect Iraq from external threats. So that means to have to be barricaded on the borders, or just always ready to defend Iraq from an invasion from one of Iraq's neighbors. But I think as you rightly point out, the Iraqi army at the moment is taking the lead in providing internal security for many reasons, just because they're better equipped than the police to deal with the insurgency. They have better intelligence capability, and even the Iraqi army in general has always been respected in Iraq as an institution that's powerful, that has prestige. So that's why it's taken a major role at the moment, as opposed to the police, whose image in Iraq always has been as just a bunch of illiterate thugs who are taking bribes, and that's the way they do business. It's not like the police here. So that's the image that they have. But I mean, going forward, and if there is no active insurgency, that will become a very good question. What should the army do now? Should the army just go back to the barracks and train and be ready for something external? Will the police be ready? I mean, if the Iraqi army, and so much money has been spent on it, just by 24 billion, just by the U.S., is not ready. The police has gotten much less, and their training is not similar at all. So the police will actually have to be prepared, and the State Department is taking the lead on training the Iraqi police, starting on September 5th.
It's just about 7. Why don't we take one more question?
How much of the
Iraq after the invasion, you would attribute to the history of oppression of different groups in the country, and how much you would attribute to the American emphasis on the people's different ethnicity or sect, because they came and said we need this many Shias on the governing council, this many Sunnis, this many Kurds. So how much would you say the conflict came from?
You know about the governing council, I've forgotten about that. 7 years ago. But go ahead.
No, I think,
But just very, very briefly, I think, many people, they say it's, all these differences started after 2003, and all of a sudden, Iraq became divided along ethnic and sectarian lines. Having grown up in Iraq, I don't believe that's the case. I've lived in different cities in Iraq, and I come from. I always say I'm an Iraqi.
and that's a great question to wrap this up with. It's definitely not all bad. I'm not making that up. They actually said that. And, all I can tell you was that's a really good question. But, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. All I hope is it doesn't go out. Because, like vultures, we were talking about this earlier, like vultures, circling over the gaunt prospector in the desert, the guy, ready to collapse. There's a lot of vultures flying around Iraq, and what are they going to do when the U.S. pulls out completely and the chief of the staff of the Iraqi military says, we need you here for another 10 years. It's a wait and see.
And I think just to end with a brief comment, I know Michael, you get the impression from Michael that he does not like General Petraeus, but from the saying that I'm going to give you,